Hi, I'm Nate Keene with Fort Collins Public Media, and I'm here at the LOUDframe Film Festival talking with TJ Lesmeister, who is a member of the Petrichor Collective and a director of photography on two of the videos
Yeah,
here
yeah.
today.
Yep, Runaway and Opiated Dreams.
Great. Could you tell me about Petrichor a little bit?
Yeah, so Petrichor Collective is a art collective here in Fort Collins.
Mm-hmm.
We aim to make art accessible to anyone who wants to be an artist. Really, truly, we try, to be inclusive to everyone, all art mediums, ages, places of where they are as an artist. And we do that through studio space and events and classes and workshops and meditations and you name it.
Yeah.
So,
How long
yeah.
have you been doing that?
Ooh, this will be 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years in our current studio. Yeah.
Interesting. What motivated you to try and build an organization like that?
Man, it really all kind of stemmed back to when I started it with my family.
Yeah.
So, each of us are artists in our own way. I'm a photographer and videographer. My girlfriend Taylor is a photographer. My mom, Laureen, she's an amazing painter. And my brother Jack is a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And, we got like a small studio space together and just started talking about, what does it mean to be an artist? And, like how can we actually do that in our community? And we kind of found out that there's a lot of obstacles in people's way to becoming an artist.
Yeah.
Things that are monetary, otherwise just like community support can really make a big difference. So we started doing First Friday as sort of like our flagship event, and we've been carrying that through all 4 years. And the motivation really just comes from all of us being together, lifting each other up, being supportive, and breaking down some of those barriers and costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So for the music videos that are here today, I've seen both of them. They look fantastic.
Hey, thank you.
I love the way that you shoot, especially on Opiated Dreams. You
Yeah.
shot outdoors,
Hmm.
and I was on set because I was helping on that
Oh
one.
yeah,
And so
man.
I know you
We
were shooting
needed
a
it.
lot of that at noon and things with the sun directly overhead. But
Yeah.
the video looks amazing.
Hey,
So I
thank you.
just wanted to tell you that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, shooting on set with you and everyone else was just like such a great time. And even though we were out there and the sun was there, it kind of like added to this like adventurer's spirit. And it kind of felt like we were going a little further along, and it ended as dark as it was going to be. And I kind of felt that throughout the video. So it kind of worked out.
Cool.
Yeah.
How much do you participate in the planning and storyboarding of the video versus being on set and trying to figure out how to do it? That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So particularly with both Runaway and Opiated Dreams, I actually work with Joey Arebelos, the director. He does a majority of the storyboarding,
Yeah.
where I come in the planning is sort of that first look at the storyboard. Him and I can kind of discuss, what do we want this to feel like? What do we want this to look like? And that's really where I can kind of take a stab at using my experience to kind of work with him through the storyboard and kind of figure out what's realistic with the equipment that we have and the time that we got, as well as just trying to figure out like how we're going to shoot it, what lenses, what cameras,
Yeah.
what sort of techniques or tricks are we going to use. So I don't necessarily create the storyboard. I leave that up to Joey. He's great at it.
Mhm.
But the mood board and look is where I really come in.
What draws you towards camera work?
Dude, I am just such a nerd.
Yeah.
I absolutely like love the tech behind everything. So everything as far as like tripods, so lenses, the cameras, so the bodies and the accessories and the mics or whatever
Yeah.
it might be. Like I really like to nerd out on that stuff. All
Cool.
day long I'm sort of participating and keeping up with the current gear.
Hmm.
I've had the opportunity to go to NAB and like CES out in Vegas many years in a row just to participate in like what's new, what is available to us. And, I think one thing that's been really nice is I started really filming and taking it seriously just about 10 years ago. And within the last 3 years, the accessibility of that has just absolutely skyrocketed. So, like
Hmm.
every single individual, I mean, everything from your iPhone to like these lavs that we're using are like all brand new tech, it feels like.
Hmm.
And for years, it was so expensive, and now it's just not. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you think that accessibility, the better technology in something like a phone where you can kind of use
Hmm.
it for almost a number of different types of cameras in
Yeah.
one single device makes things a lot easier for people. Is that something you use? Do you work on a phone ever when it comes to making a video, or do you prefer to? work with a more traditional camera?
I do prefer the more traditional camera just because I can't get over depth of field. You can do some stuff, obviously, by rigging up the phones and like enabling them with like different lensing to to kind of mimic that. But the small sensor kind of works against you. And so personally, I like that more shallow depth of field and sort of the larger format look, as well as just 16-bit color. I'm spoiled, and so now I can't go back.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think that anyone who's like an up and coming filmmaker should not shy away from using their phone as like that first sort of equipment. And what's really neat is like just start somewhere, and the rabbit hole of like figuring out that tech and really understanding like what makes your look
Mm-hmm.
starts speaking to you, and you can kind of build the equipment that you have over time. And I don't think anyone has to let that get in their way to start out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How long have you and Joey been working together?
This would be just about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Runaway was actually the first project that him
Okay.
and I worked together. He was pretty good friends with Ash Redhorse,
Yeah.
and he had a pretty cool idea. And somebody said that I got to film in the Alley Cat, and I just absolutely love coffee. So
Okay, great.
I jumped at that opportunity right away. I was like, "Yep, yeah, I'll film with the Alley Cat, whatever you guys need." But no, it was kind of fun because he's a little bit newer to directing,
Mm-hmm.
but he comes with a huge history of like film knowledge. So we kind of complement each other well. Where maybe I'm always trying to be on the like bleeding edge and like in the future set of like the tech, and he's really looking into the past on like how do we make things feel realistic. And Runaway was a good example of another film that was majority natural lighting, except some of the interior scenes, where some of those we even shot like night for day,
Yeah.
just to try to use that space after closing hours. But yeah, 2 years him and I have been working together.
Great. So Petrichor, you're doing a lot to try and make the art community as a whole in Fort Collins
Yeah.
develop. What do you think the film scene in Fort Collins needs to get to the next level?
Hmm. That's such a great question, and I wish I knew the answer. So I'm just gonna revert back to what I know about just other art
Yeah.
mediums, which is just more of like a community uplifting. And I think that LOUDframe is a good step in that direction, where we all get to kind of hang out and celebrate our peers. And I really feel like that is what's still missing. I think that again, this is that step in that direction,
Yeah.
and I'm so thankful for that. But just more opportunities for us to screen films, be together, hang out at like Fort Collins Public Media, hang out at different spaces like the Lyric, where we can all be together and sort of create projects
Yeah.
without, feeling like there's competition,
Mm-hmm.
because we're all in it together, really.
Great.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you very much to
Thank you.
LOUDframe and to Fort Collins Public Media. And TJ, thank you
Yeah.
for sitting here and talking with me today.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Cool. Have a
Yeah.
great night.
Yeah. Thanks.